ahead and start the stream. We are almost streaming. Hey, Crystal, I'm going to send it back to you.
Okay.
Tony sent me a message as well. He says he's going to be a few minutes late.
Okay. I think that's it then. Just Tim and Tony, right?
I think so.
Yes.
You want to wait or do you want to go ahead and get started?
No, I think we should get started. I'm not sure how long each one of them will be. So,
And
Pete.
Kira?
Missing Pete.
Yeah, we're missing Pete.
Do we have enough for a quorum?
Let me see. We
Yes, we do.
should. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
5. Yep, we do.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Happy Wednesday, everyone. November 18th, 2020. It's 5 p.m. This is Jamestown Local Development Corporation. I'm calling this meeting to order. Welcome. We have the first order for business is the approval of the minutes for the September 16th, 2020 meeting. Do I have a motion for approval?
Move.
Second.
So moved by Vicky, second by Kim. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, minutes are passed. Minutes are approved. Next order of business is the consideration of financial reports. Looks like we received some income information. John or Crystal, do you guys want to go through any of it?
If there's any questions, I think that in general, it's not anything surprising. Waiting on, we've had loans that have been frozen for a number of months. We do have some who have started paying interest again. We've got a Fund for Downtown Programming grant that we're still waiting on reimbursement for. I don't know if anyone has any specific questions, but we're happy to answer them if you do.
Any questions on the financials from our board members? Okay, so we'll have a motion to approve the financials up until, and John, is that October? Is that the financials until?
Yep, October 30th.
October 31st, 2020?
Yep.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the financials.
So move.
Okay, so moved by Tom, second by Kim. Is that right, Kim?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, looks like financial reports have been passed. The next one is consideration of an engagement letter from the auditor, Drescher Malecki, LLP. Crystal or John, do either of you want to talk about it?
John has had direct contact and he's been working with Ryan. We have a requirement to use the same auditor that the city uses. So this would be the same. They're new to us this year. Of course, John Trusella has retired. John, I don't know if you have anything that you want to add, but I think that it's pretty straightforward. They were the lowest bid and they seem to be well respected and certainly qualified.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Fantastic. And I believe the city is also moving forward with the same auditor.
Yep.
And I'm not sure, I don't know if John Trusello is officially retiring or just backing away, but he's obviously done a great deal of work for the city and for the JLDC over many, many years. So it is obviously a big loss. Are you guys seeking a motion to approve the engagement letter? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yes, please.
So do we have a motion to approve the engagement of Dresser Malecki LLP for auditing services for the Jamestown Local Development Corporation?
Move.
Don't move.
So moved by Vicky, second by Kim.
No one's jumping.
I see, yes. All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, passed. The next item we have for is a loan status discussion in regards to a unanimous consent resolution to approve the hardship waiver for International Ordnance Technologies. Stephanie, did you want to talk briefly about this?
Well, this came to us back in September, and this was an offer we had made to our small businesses who felt that even paying interest-only payments until the end of the year would be difficult. And International Ordnance Technologies, or IoT, they were the only one that came forward with this request. So this is good from obviously September until December 2020. I guess we will check again what happens in January. But at this time, they did take up this offer, and everyone responded via email to say, yes, they did approve of this.
Great. Any questions? So we'll have a motion to ratify the unanimous consent resolution approving hardship waiver for International Ordnance Technologies.
Chris?
So moved.
Yeah, there's two.
Okay.
Dick.
Moved by Tom, second by Kim.
And actually, Peggy did.
Peggy,
Get her hand up.
sorry, Peggy. You
She's
win.
on mute. You can't hear her.
Oh,
There we go.
Chris raised his hand too, so
There we go.
who
There you
wants
go.
it?
Wonderful. All right. So second by Peggy. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? Any abstaining? All right. That consent has been ratified. The next item is the marketing initiative update.
Yes, and I'm going to try to share my screen here. Find the screen that I want. There it is. Okay, can everyone see that?
Got it.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So we'll just go through this page by page. This is the most recent deliverable that Block Club has provided with us. There's still some hesitation, I would say, from some of the stakeholder group that we've been working with in terms of really embracing the comedy's hometown. So I would really love to hear your feedback and get your input on what your thoughts are. But I'll just kind of walk you through it, and then we'll take questions and feedback as we go. And I'm on the last page, going back to the first. So this is just the typical brand identity standards that you would get with any brand. The blue Jamestown, New York, Comedy's hometown is essentially the logo with the Comedy's hometown as the tagline. Couple of variations. Color variations. I guess I'll go through and then we can go back and talk about things like color and kind of get into the nitty gritty if that sounds okay with everyone.
Mhm.
So again, standards for anyone who would be using these logos and graphics in putting together an ad or using it in any sort of way. These are the don'ts, the recommended don'ts. Color scheme, our typography or fonts. And here are the custom lettering. You can see sort of how they opted to design the lettering. Campaign theme, come for the funny. So here are the first couple of campaign concepts. So the idea is come for the funny, stay for the blank, stay for the eats, stay for the hops, stay for the stroll, stay for the corduroy. Not sure how I feel about that one.
Mhm.
And that's it. So why don't we go back and we'll start with logo. Is there any feedback on the logo? Kim, you don't love it, do you?
I do not. I do not. I'm trying. I really am.
I know.
I think it's the W and the A that are throwing me off.
Yeah, exactly. They're
Yeah.
odd looking.
I love
Yeah.
the comedy's hometown.
Yeah,
I'd like-
it's,
Yeah,
it's,
I-
the
it's good.
font is so unusual.
yeah.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at my logos for work, and I'm like some of the ones we use right now because someone's working on my laptop beside me. It's not.
Go here and show some of the variations in color.
Yeah, color doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Black actually makes it worse.
I agree. The black is kind of awful.
Yeah.
I like the New York and the O, but I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree with you. The New York is fine. It's the
rest of it.
it just doesn't flow. Doesn't really flow. The
No,
whole thing about a logo is you want it to flow, and it's kind of a combination of blocky and
Yeah. I get what they were trying to do, just make it kind of add to the fun sort of idea. I kind of agree. I think that just go back, just keep the font, don't change it. I think it's on the next page where it shows how they sort of customized. My thought is they just go with the font that is there, leave the O in the NY in the O.
I'm with you. It makes it kind of look shoddy.
yeah, it's like they didn't have any creative thoughts when they were doing it. They just sort of scribbled it in.
And believe it or not, this is sort of a, like, I think the third round of font. So, okay, this is good feedback. It's how I've been feeling. I really want to love it, and I just have been struggling.
I'm trying. I can't.
Yeah, no.
I think you got
I feel like visually it's like nice and balanced, but I feel like the message of Jamestown gets lost in how muddled it looks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it seems like this is like third or fourth generation, because I think they probably approached it from a good place, but kind of ended up in a scrambled egg situation. It's not an omelet, like.
Yeah.
I also feel like the
I
color
like
story is very modern for a town that has such a deep history. Like, it seems, I guess they're going for fun. I get it.
I don't know if you've ever seen the logo on the Comedy Center pens. I have one right in my hand, and I like that a lot better.
Yeah.
Right.
And you've all seen it in the t-shirts and that, and it's just okay at best. It's not. It doesn't seem catchy. It doesn't seem like it's gonna.
It's not memorable.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just looking through all of ours, and we have both like a cursive script and a block script, which I think is on every one of ours.
Yeah.
which I think kind of does that break up that you're looking for. Yeah, all
Okay.
of our, every family, every company, every. I can send them to you, Crystal, if you want.
Sure. So what about, what is everyone's thoughts on the O kind of staying that block? Maybe everything else becomes a normal font
Yeah, the
and
O
have
is
them
always
try
fine.
that and see how that looks and then keep the NY in the O.
Definitely worth a try.
Mhm.
I do remember at one point they had the O was a heart with the NY inside it also. Which
The red.
Could that be a trademark issue though?
That's what I was
maybe,
thinking.
Yeah.
It's like the I Love New York trademark.
Yeah.
yeah.
Lucy.
Oh, yes, it
Yeah, loose is
absolutely.
what I thought.
What does everyone think about the color scheme?
It
Don't like
doesn't
the
make
yellow.
sense.
I'm not, the color, the black is not good, but I think once you get the logo down, the colors might make a little more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible.
Is there some Jamestown connection to the colors that they've chosen? I mean, do those colors specifically lend itself to Jamestown? I mean, I could see blue and yellow leading towards heritage, but was that in their thought process, or did they just go for those particular colors because they liked them?
So part of their thought process was, again, kind of keeping in with sort of a fun vibe, but also something that would complement the Comedy Center's color scheme. So it wouldn't be identical to the Comedy Center, but it would play nicely with their color scheme.
Which is black and green, mostly, like a lime green.
The lime green, and then they do have some other real bright colors.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what's in there. There
Pink,
might be like a
pink and
pinkish purple.
navy.
Yeah.
It helps me a little bit. I was surprised they didn't have like a show curtain red or a mic or something integrated. I mean, it's just not, doesn't really seem overly comedy related.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Really seem to be related to anything. It's got the verbiage down, but just to look at it, it doesn't scream Jamestown. Oh, sorry, there's my crappy dog.
Even your dog doesn't like it.
Yeah, they use a lot of lime green.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
my comedy center pen is lime green, and yeah, I don't know. I think if you have a good logo, it could be in any color. I mean, but that is, I don't know, just not it.
Not loving it. Okay.
I wonder if they try, the Comedy Centers is all capital.
Yeah.
On their website, so I wonder if they tried to duplicate that a little bit.
The only one I like is the blue one. Most of them are kind of ugly.
What do we think of Come for the Funny as a theme?
I like it. And then it's kind of a fill in the blank though after, isn't it? Like stay for the, and then you
Yeah,
could make
I think it's
multiple
pretty
things.
flexible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you
Again,
take
I don't like
spot.
the lettering on that poster, but you know,
Let's pretend we love the lettering and the color scheme. What do we think of like the theme in terms of the stay for the eats, the little boy with the ice cream cone that looks a little cartoony.
I like that we've showcased what is downtown, what is Jamestown about. Obviously, it's eating and drinking and comedy, but it's also entertainment besides comedy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
something about theater should be in that, because that's what, a lot of people come downtown for. Well, they used to.
Yeah, and I think that's another ad that can be created.
Mhm.
They really just did the 4 just to kind of get us started and let us kind of see it all together. But certainly we could plug and play just about anything. If we'd like, come for the funny, stay for whatever that local, I guess, connection might be.
We put Eddie there with the ice cream cone.
I think
What?
that is an early picture of Eddie.
I'm still not getting warm and fuzzies.
I think I don't mind the logos or the verbiage. I think when you just look at these, the logo just kind of on the verbiage.
Takes
Yeah,
away from everything else.
It does.
Yeah.
That's my personal. It's not catchy to the eye. It almost, and not that kids aren't artists, but it almost looks like it came from a kid.
Mhm.
It does, and it's not something that you would remember, other than remembering it being bizarre looking. I'm
That's
sorry.
definitely not the impression we want to.
Well, no, and, you want something, even though you're talking about comedy and something like that. I think we want to gear it towards something a little more grown up, especially if you're talking about hops and going to comedy. I think an adult might gear toward a different font.
I think they're fine. We're overthinking it.
I don't think so. I think the colors are fine. I think once you change that look of the logo of the,
Font.
yeah,
Yeah.
Change
I think you'll have a different opinion.
the lettering.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Maybe something like more scripted, like script,
exactly.
like
Less
cursive.
block.
It looks too funky, blocky like that. Like something like in script writing. I don't know. That's just.
That doesn't flow. I think you need something that flows, and if you get something in a script or something softer, it will flow better. If I were putting it on a cake, I would not use those letters.
I sent you those, Crystal, so you have them.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Do you want me to share them?
It's on your email. I mean, it just, you're welcome to. I don't care, but you can see how they take both the block and the script. Kind of like what the county center is, but they did all block.
Okay.
But
Great,
they have
take a
like
minute for me
a
to get that.
separation.
All right. It hasn't come yet, but if it pops up, I can share.
It's on, who knows with me.
Yeah, we've got a pretty strong firewall, so it takes things a little while to come through.
Yeah, especially because they're screenshots.
Okay. Oh yeah, that'll take forever. Okay, so something else that we've heard from, it's kind of like this 50-50 split of there are the one argument is in favor of really pushing and leveraging the comedy center, and that we have this national attraction, and that the thought is, as a national attraction, the comedy center is what the draw would be, is what people would come to Jamestown to see, that people coming from outside the area are not coming to go to the Jackson Center necessarily, or to the Reg Lene. They'll do that while they're here, but that's not the reason they come here. So that's kind of one sort of, I don't want to call it an argument, but one sort of idea. And then the other idea is much more local centric, and those who are kind of opposed to this really embracing and using comedy's hometown as a tagline. Their thought process is it feels disingenuous and inauthentic, because the thought is we're not really comedy's hometown. We've adopted comedy. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I kind of see both sides to the both points.
Why do you say we're not comedy's hometown? I mean, it can't, I mean, anybody, I guess anyone could make that claim,
And I think that's kind of it, Tom.
you
is
know,
that-
but I think we have a legitimate claim in Lucille Ball, so I think we have, we have that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that the point, right, we do have Lucille Ball, she's from here, but she
Yeah.
left as quick as she could.
Mhm.
And, kind of didn't really look back. And where comedians come up is not in comedy. We don't really even have like a place to come and do stand up in Jamestown. So people that are, comedians are actually, they're going to New York City, they're going to LA, they're going to larger cities that might have more of a claim to being a comedy hometown. Now, the Comedy Center, in talking with Gary Hahn, and he's fantastic. His thought is, well, we are comedy's hometown because we have the Comedy Center. And when you think about the Comedy Center and the types of exhibits that are in the Comedy Center, we've been entrusted with these really valuable, it's like going up to the attic and discovering the trunk full of your family's heirlooms, right? So that's kind of how Gary described it. That's the Comedy Center. That's what the Comedy Center is to comedy is
We're not saying we're the birthplace of comedy. We're just saying we're like hometown sounds like we're a little smaller than the big city, and I don't know. Well, I like it, but I don't know how the rest of the group feels.
Does anyone else have thoughts on that?
I see both arguments. It's kind of a tricky
Yeah.
one.
It is.
It is
yeah.
tricky.
Unless we're really gonna breed comedy here, like unless we're gonna really go out and try to change our entire environment to breed comedy. I don't know if it makes sense to go with a marketing scheme that seems to it seems like you want to come, if you came here, you'd expect to see comedy everywhere, I guess.
Yeah.
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 Well, I know I'm here to be an attorney, but I think it's not necessarily a bad idea to go this way. We do have the National Comedy Center. Cooperstown has the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's not where baseball was invented, but they bill themselves on that quite regularly. That's their big draw. So it's not like it's unprecedented to kind of go in that direction.
But is their tagline baseball's hometown?
No, but they build a lot of their marketing around the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I
We've
feel
got-
like if it wasn't hometown, if it was something else, and I'm trying to like spark a word, but I can't. I want to like manage visitors' expectations, and I just don't want people to come here thinking that everything is all about comedy or that everything is derived from something related to comedy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're saying come for the comedy, but but also there is this,
Right.
And
But
that's what
but it says
captured,
comedy's hometown on everything.
right. And the come for the funny is kind of what's captured in the campaigns,
Mhm.
but it's not, right, like comedy's hometown is really part of the logo and part of the actual brand identity. So I guess that's the question, is that our identity? And is that something that we can feel
About
confident?
even something like Celebrate Comedy. Where you're not saying it's the hometown, but
Just say, make it more specific and say Jamestown, Comedy Center's hometown. We're the home.
This makes it sound like you don't need to come here unless your primary concern is coming for comedy. And we have so much more to offer besides comedy.
Right.
If you have no interest in comedy, don't bother coming to Jamestown.
Home of the National Comedy Center. I don't know.
Yeah. Just kind of pigeonhole it a little more so that people don't think that's the only reason to come to Jamestown.
Yeah.
Crystal, it sounds like there's a good number of comments that we could provide Block Club to keep moving it forward. And
Yep.
Are there any other guiding questions you want to take this group through?
No, I think I just want to leave it open to if you think of something in the middle of the night and you're like, that's it, please send it.
Crystal,
Yeah.
We'll give Block Club all of these comments
Yeah.
and try to, steer things in a little bit different direction.
I would
I
just
think-
put Jamestown, home of the National Comedy Center. That's it. That's what it is. It's not comedy's hometown per se. It's just, this is where the National Comedy Center is. That's it. You're still celebrating comedy, but you're not, we're not all just about comedy.
Right.
If you're going to focus on that, that's what it is. Jamestown is comedy's, the hometown of the National Comedy Center. Boom, done. I mean, it's also the hometown of Robert H. Jackson and Roger Tory Peterson and all those other things, but
And Tony Dulles.
and Tony Dulles, of course. I was going to say that, but
I want that on a t-shirt.
that would sell.
Tony's hometown. There you go.
That's right.
Face has been on many t-shirts, right, Eddie?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony Town.
Tony, put me on there. I'll eat the ice cream cone.
I'll drink the
Better yet,
beer.
I'll drink the beer. I don't,
Yeah.
All right. I think that we can move on to the next agenda item.
So we have the continuation of the JLDC loan program review, evaluation, and discussion. Everyone should have received some additional information on some new loan products. Is that right, Crystal and Stephanie?
Yep.
And so do you guys want to just walk us through what you guys are proposing, and we'll give you some feedback and talk a bit about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to Stephanie. She's been hard at work at taking what we had previously and just sort of rethinking the programs a little bit. And we met with Greg Noon. He's on our Jura board, and he's also was vice president, I believe, at yep. So he was really helpful. He kind of took a look at where we were and provided some feedback from the banking world kind of perspective. But we'd love for you guys to just sort of weigh in on what your thoughts are. If you have any suggestions or any comments or anything, please feel free to provide them. It's a work in progress. This is certainly not a finished product. It's really just getting us from where we were to kind of the next step, and then we'll fully bake what our new programs will look like after we get some feedback from all of you. So I know, Stephanie, if you want to walk us through.
Sure. So we've been working on two different loan products. One is a startup, or for businesses that are newly started. And this came about based on the feedback that we get from people who come in needing just a little bit, to get past their first year hump. We have a business downtown that, though very creative, very talented, business savvy, not so much. So when taxes came due to pay employee taxes, they didn't know they had to do that. So they kind of found themselves in a pinch, needing about $5,000. That was a small amount. I'm not suggesting that we give out $5,000 every time there's a need. That need is being met now by the Chautauqua Opportunities Development Incorporation. So we want to step higher into an amount of about $10,000 to $15,000, because we have had small business owners come in. They already have a product, they have a business going, they want to move into a brick and mortar, but they need a little more of a push. some assistance to get going. So we came up with this idea, and obviously a lot of entrepreneurs, people who start out their business at the very first, they don't have a lot of collateral. They don't have a lot of resources set aside to help them out. But we do want to acknowledge that's important, but also so is their own knowledge and their experience. And we're trying to find a measurable way of assessing that so that we can get them into an approved loan. So I'll just move into the terms of this. As I said, the applicants will need to demonstrate a measurable investment in their venture. And the way that we're looking to that is, I guess at the bottom of the page would be a strong application would demonstrate a track record that shows a venture has a capacity to generate enough money to pay back the loan. Obviously, that's most important. And also the level of contribution that the applicant is willing to make or can make into their own venture. What are they putting into that? And that can be their own finances. It can be sweat equity, any resources they have to put in. Maybe they, have the use of a building downtown, something that shows that they are structuring this to be their own venture, their own responsibility, and we would just be helping them, give them a little push. We also want to see a documented financial relationship with investors or partners. And I have that here because we have some businesses downtown that were really risky to take on, but because the owner of the business had a partner, as in a spouse, who was able to have a full-time job with benefits, being able to assist their partner financially through these hard times, then that really bolstered their approval, the likelihood of their approval, and they were approved. A couple of those businesses was Gialli's and Crown Street. So any type of relationship that people have with investors, and like I said, that being a spouse would really make a strong application. Also is a very strongly established management team. That can be their accountant. That can be the work that they've done with the Small Business Development Center. Anyone who is helping them, even Shannon Greenland, is that the correct name? She helps a lot of entrepreneurs get started. So just showing that they've really put their time into building this team. Evidence of project budget engineering. What that means is you might come into my office with an idea to purchase, $20,000 worth of furniture and fixtures, but a budget engineering would show that they've actually worked out what they can need or what they would need minimally and how to work for that. We do that in a lot of our projects. We also want to see a strong customer base. A lot of people do come in with that. And a commitment to work in partnership with Jura's small business consulting services for the first 12 months of business. So their application would definitely be bolstered if they were willing to do all of this, if they had this behind them. We, of course, would still want, the traditional collateral, not collateral, excuse me, but the traditional tools in trying to approve their application. So we will need a letter of denial from a bank because we want people to be going to a bank first. If they receive a denial, then we would want a letter. We want them to complete a small business development course from the SBDC, and they do have one established now. And we want them to work with a small business development center to create a business plan and research-based cash flow projections. A lot of times people come in with their own idea of what their revenue is going to be. And just looking at it straight off, you can tell right away, this has not been researched, and they have not put that kind of time into it. And we also want them to submit a marketing plan and a marketing budget. And for that, if all of that aligns, then they would be eligible for a loan anywhere between 10 to 15,000 with interest to be prime rate plus 1 to 3%. And this is where I need, guidance from the board, what is our matrix going to look like for choosing that interest rate. Is it going to be a 3-year or a 5-year term? Cash injection in the project of 10 to 25% based on the loan amount. A personal guarantee always, credit checks always, project related collateral required. And we know that's going to be small if it's going to be a $10,000 to $15,000. But, somehow, try to rely on them giving us a form of collateral. And of course, the applicant is to pay the JLDC closing costs, which many people did not know that coming into this. So just right off the top, is there anything, and like we said, this is just a draft, we're just starting this out. Is there anything that kind of sticks out as something good, something that we should modify? We should go back to the table completely?
I'm looking forward to reading into it more. I've only got the chance just to look at it briefly before the meeting, but it seems like you're on the right track, I guess. I want to dig into it more though.
Okay.
I like the small business development course. How often are those available, and could they be enrolled, or do they have to have completed it? I don't know.
These, and I'll ask Crystal to speak more to it, because what I understand is that this is all online and they can enroll anytime.
Okay.
They can get through it as fast as they can, or,
Mhm.
sometimes that really goes to show how serious someone is in this business.
Yeah, Stephanie's correct. The Small Business Development Center has recently rolled out this online curriculum, and there are modules associated with different sort of categories of, budgeting, marketing, using social media, all kind of the full gamut of what a startup might need. It's, sort of the intro course. So it's not like you're enrolled in business school. And that's where the requirement to continue to work with the small business consultant with Jura ongoing. We want to be able to have the ability to check in. We don't want to say, here's your $15,000, goodbye, good luck. We want to have, periodic check-ins with them. We want them to have ongoing tools to get them to that intermediate place of, they're cooking along. Maybe they're not experts at running a business yet, but in, the first 12 months, 24 months, they're able to really have all of the tools at their disposal that they might need to be successful.
Is Stephanie,
It's a 7-session course that they do go through.
just had a follow-up question for you all. As part of it, I see that you're looking at a denial letter from a banking institution. Are we looking at any of these as potential bridge funding, or to make up a gap? For example, if the bank will only loan a portion of that and they need, let's say 10 grand to finalize the project, can these be used as bridge loans as well, or is it only if they're denied by a banking institution?
They
Thought of that as, us being the bridge loan. Typically it's the other way around.
Yeah.
They go to the bank and try to get the bridge for us.
And that was actually, we talked about that with Greg a little bit. His thought was, for what it will cost a bank to originate the loan in that small of an amount, they typically won't, they just won't do like a $5,000, sometimes a $10,000 loan, that it's not worth it for them to do that small of an amount, which is where the idea of a denial letter from the bank, we always want to send them to the bank first. Greg did recommend that, that we should encourage applicants to go to the bank first. We've also been working more closely with COI's development arm and trying to kind of leverage each other's resources. So, applicants certainly can qualify for a loan with Cody and still come to us and apply for a loan as well. So wherever the gap might be between the two organizations, you know, there's opportunity there to kind of meet what their needs are. You know, maybe their needs are 10,000, taking on that $10,000 risk for either organization, being able to kind of share that risk is a little bit more palatable, I guess.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that explanation. The only other question I had was, I think last time we discussed potentially having a specialty program for MWBEs, so minority women-owned business or veteran-owned businesses. Have we had any further discussion or thoughts on a program that could apply to that as well?
So really, we've been looking at overall, and then I think where we want to kind of focus the MWBE support is more with the Jura program that we're developing. So it would be part of that small business assistance, and specifically in that, those consultants that someone would work with would help them work through that process of getting their MWBE certification. With the loans themselves, we want to make them accessible to everyone. I think that we can certainly, you know, say that there's small MWBEs are encouraged to apply. And I think that these loans can serve kind of the same, you know, kind of fill that need that we've come to understand is there, but we haven't developed something specifically that says only MWBEs can apply for this program.
Thank you.
But if that's something that you want us to do, you know, I guess that's what we're here for, to kind of get your guidance.
I think having, looking at a sample of a program or seeing if other cities do that, in looking at the city of Jamestown, I mean, there are only, I think, 5 or 6 MWBE organizations in the entire city. And if we want to try to increase that capacity, increase those numbers, I think we should start to look at potential loan programs that would support that. But again, let's take a look into it further and see what else we can come up with.
Yeah, and just to we certainly understand the importance of that. I mean, we've talked at great length about it. And that's where we felt like maybe right now the JLDC loans aren't the place to focus on it. We need to get businesses certified. And that's why we thought using the CDBG funds through Jura, administered through Jura, to hire a consultant to work hand in hand with small businesses to get those certifications would be the first step. But just to put that out there. So really, like, our focus right now is getting as many MWBE and service disabled veteran organizations, get them certified and get them being able to work in the city as possible. So
Couldn't you just market it and include a statement that says, I mean, that would be the easiest thing to do instead of creating a whole separate loan program.
And I think that's where we left it open for the percent, you know, of the loan, the terms. You know, we can modify those, or, you know, kind of tailor them to the needs of each applicant. We might find, you know, women and minority owned might need, you know, a longer time to pay something back because, you know, they haven't traditionally been in this sector of business. So, you know, just really leave that open for tailor made.
yeah, allowing some flexibility in the terms based on, you know,
Right.
each individual circumstance.
Are there any other questions on that loan program or product? Okay, is there anything you guys want to see, like when we go back to the tables, or more detail? This is probably as detailed as our other loan products are, but I do need to work on a matrix for, how do we determine who gets what interest rate and, what length of the loan. And is there anything else that you can see? If not, we can go on to the next loan product, which is really just a kind of a culmination of all of our loan products. We have the green lining loan, the small business loan, the commercial industrial energy incentive loan, the artisan loan, the restaurant loan, and those are real specific. So sometimes people coming in, it's hard to try to fit them into the right loan program. And a lot of them just get shoved into the jobs and private investment when maybe that's not where they should be. So what I've done with the other one is I made this, again, small business development assistance loans anywhere from 15 to 75,000. That is about as high as our restaurant loan goes. And this would be financial assistance given to established businesses and for businesses either expanding or coming into Jamestown. And just this year in 2020, there are 2 businesses that tried to come into Jamestown and they just couldn't do it based on, their own finances. And then, we were trying to help them out through a JLDC loan, and we just couldn't get something to fit what they needed. And this is the same thing. We were looking for strong applications. The same loan application submittal, only this time something that would be different for them because they already obviously have an established business. We do want a really solid profit and loss statement, balance sheet for each of the 3 years prior. Be surprised how hard it is sometimes to get that out of people. And obviously submitting a marketing plan and their marketing budget is very important too, because just going along with, the last discussion we had about trying to draw people into Jamestown, we're doing the best we can, but we need our own small businesses to get out there and pull people in as well. So we want to know, how are they going to work with us to pull people in regionally? And they need a marketing budget to do that. So these terms are about the same, prime rate plus 1 to 3 fixed. This term could go up to 10 years. And I had down cover 70% of the project costs because that's one of the issues with businesses expanding or wanting to come into Jamestown. Our loan products traditionally, have only covered 50%. Some of them cover more, like the restaurant will cover up to 75%. But again, trying to get everyone to fit into the right loan program was difficult. So I put down covers, total project cost of 70%, 20% coming from other investors or traditional lending institutions, and a 10% cash injection from the customer. Personal guarantee, credit check, project related collateral required, and of course, all of the closing costs. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on the blanket 70%, if that's something we should stagger and again, tailor. I know Greg Noon said that he takes anywhere from a 10 to 25% cash injection, depending on how much the loan is. And also, we've always looked at project cost over the amount of the loan. So, and sometimes that gets a little squirrely because someone might have a $200,000 project cost, and we're saying, well, we're only going to put in 50%, so we can raise that. We've always kind of tried to move those figures around. So I kind of like something a little more standard.
Stephanie, when you say project costs, how does that work when part of this loan is working capital?
Well, that one, we've always counted working capital before. So it's all of the project costs plus working capital.
Okay.
I'm sorry, that it's included in the project costs.
And that's 70, it covers 70% or it covers up to 70%.
You're right. It covers up to 70%. And that's maybe where we start tailoring a little more.
That's one of the things I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And again, you know, coming up with the matrix, what I really see is like a flow chart. You know, you come in, this is the amount that you're looking for. These are all the reasons why, you know, according to your application, why we can go for a lower interest rate or need a higher one. And again, someone like Greg would be awesome to help us with that. And maybe the cash injection as well. Okay.
Yeah, definitely some good things to think about.
Yeah. And please do so. If you have anything, you know, contact me. And we can talk it out. You know, because I really do need some guidance on this. I've been doing this for 6 years and we haven't had too many loans. I think we've had a total of 14 loans since I've been here. So I need some assistance from the other ones here. And I know, don't we have 3 small businesses here? We have Elegant Edibles, we have Fortes, and we have Jamestown Skate Products. So you're the ones I really need advice from.
It's hard. I mean, which side of the coin am I thinking about? To you know, as a board member, I feel like 70% is a large portion to be allowing someone to take a loan out for. As a business owner, maybe they need it. I really have to think about it.
Sure. And please think about it and give me a call.
Yeah.
And we'll go through this again.
I agree with Peggy. I think if you're looking at 70%, that's not leaving the business owner with a lot of skin in the game.
Okay.
So, you know, effort versus donation sort of thing.
I think overall, these are really great to kind of pare down a lot of the, you know, however many loan products we had. We had a ton, all covering different categories. So we appreciate the work, Stephanie, that you've been putting into this, and Crystal and the rest of the team to put them down to make them more flexible. I think flexibility is really the key right now as businesses start to either transition or expand or try to figure out what's next with COVID. So we appreciate that. And I think for our board members, take a deep look at it, see what some other cities are looking at, and let's get some comments over to Stephanie and Crystal and her team. Okay, any further discussion, Stephanie or Crystal, on this?
Nope, I think I have it all out.
Okay. The next thing we have is executive session. And I believe after talking to Crystal that we just have one item, which is current litigation. Is there any other items for executive session?
Not from us.
All right, so before we vote to go into executive session, are there any other items that need to come before the Jamestown Local Development Corporation Board? All right. So do we have a motion to move into executive session for current litigation? Oh, got people's hands raised. I'll go with Kim first. Kim, motion by Kim, seconded by Chris. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We'll now be in executive session. I believe that there's no action to be taken. Is that right, Crystal?
Correct.
You have to stop the live streaming.
We'll stop the live streaming. Just give me a minute to stop it and we'll go
Can you
ahead.
do it on your end? I can do it.
You